Alright guys, this could be the second video today. We talked a bit about some things in the last one concerning weapons and ammunition. A little bit. So I mean, if you got a 12 gauge, you got a 20 gauge, you got a 410 gauge, that's a starter. Or it may be just what you have the whole time. Maybe what you have based your Minuteman kit on because of your area. You know, maybe that works best for you, right? This is something that we have to all decide as to what works best for each of us, okay? Because what may work for Peter will not work for Paul, okay? Yeah. What may work for Peter may not work for Paul. Alright, so we talked about, in the last one, we talked about wearing different things, right? Right now I'm wearing a bush hat. It's, I believe it said it was mossy oak when I got it. I've had it for years. But anyway, this is a good autumn winter, you know, piece of headgear. If you want to just like look like a hunter, right? You get me? So just depends on what you're hunting. Right? But the main thing is that you want to be a defender of, you want to be a righteous person. You know, you don't want to be somebody who's out there, one of those marauding types, you know. Anybody like that comes around your home, they're gonna get a lesson. Possibly a permanent lesson. You know, and that's just the way it is. That's just the way you have to take care of things. You know, you have to protect yourself, you have to protect your family and your property. And another thing too is that you got to understand that if there are people in uniform, no matter what kind of uniform that they are, if they are being henchmen, if they are doing the dirty work for the tyrants behind all of this nonsense that's going on, if they're trying to do you harm or whatever, you're just going to have to deal with them. That's just the way it's going to have to be. Those people will have to be treated just as an enemy combatant. That's it. You know, I mean, people, I've said this 100 times. People have to take a side. You have to be on one side of the fence or the other. You're either going to have to be on the side of the people or you're going to have to be on the side of the tyrants. It's that simple. It's that simple. And, well, things will just have to be done. As time goes on, things get more difficult, and as stuff comes to pass, as I've said before, in 2 Thessalonians 2, pre-King James, okay, older than King James, it says, there will be a revolt. But first, brethren, you know, the revolt will happen, right? That's 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3, I think, if I remember right, in my Bible. Older than King James, you know, because King James was a king. You know, the thing is that if you're a king, you don't want words like revolt in the Bible, right? So they just like switched around a little bit. Anyway, yeah. things are going to get progressively tougher. They're keep pushing all of this New World Order agenda. Uh, the cackling woman is I hate to say it, but man, she is all over the news. But the media is in their back pocket. Media is in their back pocket, and the courts are in their back pocket. Right? The courts are in their back pocket. So they tried to get all of that evidence heard in the court in 2020 concerning all of the fraud, and there was a lot of stuff that was on video. Everybody saw the cheating, but the courts wouldn't hear the evidence. They're in on it. So the media is in on it, the courts are in on it, and all of the Looney Tunes leftists are in on it. I told you before, we have a problem with crazy people in the United States because they shut down all the loony bins, all the asylums, all the mental hospitals. They shut them down. They let them go out into society, and they let them breed. And now they're in government, and now they're in the population, and we just have a problem. We've got a big problem. All these crazies in there. All these crazies out there in the world right now, especially in the United States. We got all these crazies in the population. It's a big problem. You know, I'm sure it's by design too. You know, you're not just gonna let people out of a loony bin for no reason. You know, it's not gonna. So. So we got all this stuff that's going on with the cackling commie. That's what I'm calling her now, the cackling commie. She is the person that they have in the forefront, distracting everyone, while the kabuki guys in the background are working their, you know, they're doing stuff in the background. Kabuki theater guys, right? Kabuki theater is in Japan. They have these guys, they call them kabuki stagehands or something. They dress all in black, completely black outfits, and they work in the shadows in the background, moving set pieces and things like that. And this is why we call this kabuki theater, right? It's because they're moving stuff around in the background while you're distracted with the cackling commie and Trump and everybody else, right? So here's the deal, man. I'm just going to put this out there. You can hate me for it if you want, but I'm completely finished with government. This government is totally corrupt. It is never going to go back to the way that it was originally. The Constitution is flawed. The Constitution and the Bill of Rights is flawed. It allows them to amend and change the Constitution, even though they're the ones that's supposed to control, right? So it is flawed in that manner. The court systems do not uphold the Bill of Rights. The government has made acts and amendments to acts that infringe upon the gun rights of individuals in this country. There should be no gun laws whatsoever. I believe that the citizens of this country should have equal armament to the regular forces in this country, because that's what the Second Amendment is about. There was a woman named Deborah Medina, and she was running for governor of Texas, and she also believed that people should have equal armament to the quote-unquote government, okay? Uh, because back in the day, your average person in the United States, they had muskets and stuff, and the colonial army had muskets and stuff, right? So, uh, the problem is it's not equaled out, not equaled out. You see, so they've got tanks, they've got, you know, F-15s, they've got F-22s, you know, all the goodies, right? And then they have a problem with the people having an AR-15, which is, it's not an assault rifle, you know, that's an Armalite, okay? They have a problem with people having a semi-automatic rifle that has a high-capacity magazine. They have a problem with that. Yet, they have, you know, M4s and other stuff, right? So, you know, if you're not equal, that's not right. Okay, you look at Switzerland. You know, in Switzerland they have equal armament. You know, so you can go to somebody's house and they'll say, "Yeah, I have the in my closet I have the rifle that the army has," right? And it's like nothing. Here it is. You know, and they go out and they practice on a regular basis and all that stuff. If I remember right, the original Constitution of the United States was kind of loosely based on the Swiss stuff. But yeah, anyway, we got lots of problems. Lots of problems. I could talk for a while on this stuff, but we've got a lot of problems. Rucksack, patrol pack, those will be coming up. I'm probably going to start on talking about those this weekend, and we'll start going through the packs. Okay, the rucksack and the patrol pack, and some people may be using both. Okay, there may be a lot of people out there just using one. You know, one or the other. Just it all depends on your scenario, your situation, and you know, you have to tailor everything to you. So all of these videos are just food for thought. They are not set in stone. I'm not ever saying this is the one and only way. You know, something else may work better for you depending on your scenario. Alright, so that's what you always have to keep that in mind. I mean, always have to keep that in mind. It's been a lot of rain lately, and there's been a lot of flooding, and there's been flooding. I'm bringing this up because of the Bible. A lot of heavy floods, heavy flooding in South Dakota, heavy flooding a couple times in Vermont, heavy flooding in New Hampshire, wiping out roads, sinkholes, heavy flooding in Connecticut, just heavy flooding here and there, man. I mean, these roads, man, where's all that stuff going underneath? Why are the roads collapsing, right? I mean, yeah. So, it's your tax dollars at work, right? Probably taking most of those tax dollars and putting them in politicians' pockets, and then they just use cheap crap materials for the roads, right? All right, guys. We will see you soon. Have a nice day.